हे गाइस, कैसे हो आप सभी। उम्मीद करता हूँ सभी लोग मस्त रहोगे, मजे में रहोगे और ये प्लेलिस्ट एंजॉय करते रहोगे क्योंकि पर्सनली पता नहीं, फॉर सम रीजन आई एम लिटरली वेरी एक्साइटेड फॉर एक्सप्लेनिंग एंड मेकिंग यू गाइस वॉक थ्रू द एंटायर रैक सीरीज। बिकॉज जब बन गया था 30-40% तब मैं बहुत खुश हो गया था कि यार दिस इज समथिंग दैट आई वांटेड टू बिल्ड एंड नाउ दैट आई एम एबल टू बिल्ड इट। बट जब आप लोगों को एक्सप्लेन कर रहा हूँ, आप लोगों को बता रहा हूँ कैसे काम होता है, वी आर कोडिंग इट टुगेदर, उसमें और ही ज्यादा मजा आ रहा है। So yeah, in this video, what we are going to do is we are going to create sessions for each of the chat, and we will be storing that messages into MongoDB. So without any further delay, let's get into the computer screen. So now that we are on our computer screen, now what we will be doing is firstly we will obviously go to MongoDB to create an account. We'll just close this prompt OS. Yeah, enhancement was helpful. Thank you for a prompt OS. We will create a cluster. Okay, we'll just sign in here. Sign in with Google. Yeah, coding Adda and continue. It cannot be reached. No, it is working. How cannot it cannot be reached? Let it sign in first. No, this is, I want to create a new project, view all projects. I will be creating a new project. The name would be second brain ERAIN YouTube. Okay, and no, I am only the project owner. Create a cluster. Cluster 0, let it be as it is. We'll use the free tier here, not tier. Like usually developers, some say tier, some say tier, but no issues. I'll create a deployment and we will copy the password and also create the database user. Okay, what we'll do now here is go to our env and I'll just write it here, mongo underscore password equal to this. Okay, now we'll choose a connection method. We will be using MongoDB Compass here, or let's say we'll go with MongoDB Atlas drivers. Okay, done. And this would be the, I'll just say it as mongo underscore URL. Okay, so remember when the time at the time when people used to go for creating one projects, this would be the first thing that they would go with. So we'll just close this all. And next, what we'll do is firstly, we will change the post route for the chat to create a session. Okay, so the first thing would be to create a library function which will help us save the messages. I'll close this and inside lib, I'll just create a lib meaning, with the name chat messages dot ts. Okay, here first thing would be a client promise, import client promise from @lib/mongodb. Okay, so let's first create a client promise from /lib/mongodb.ts. Okay, so first thing would be mongo client to import mongo client from MongoDB. The first thing we imported is this. Next thing, const URL equal to process.env dot mongodb, not URI, we'll have URL and make it compulsory. And then an empty options. Let client be of the part of Mongo client and let client promise be a promise of Mongo client. Okay. If there is no URL, we'll say please provide a MongoDB URL in the environment variables. Next, what we'll do here is if process.env.node environment is equal to development, reuse the client in dev. Like we will say here, if the global is apart as any and is of the form of Mongo client promise, create a client with the Mongo client URL and connect it. And here we'll pass the URL and also the options. Okay. Now, after doing this, we will have one more thing here. The global as any dot underscore client promise equal to client dot connect. Okay. After that, update the client promise with this and have a else statement wherein if the process is in not in the development, it's in the production, directly create a client. Okay. And after that, we'll just say export default client client promise. Okay. So this is the thing that we need to pass now. Okay. What is this error? Expression expected quick fix. I'm not sure what exactly this error tells to us. Until the time it is getting fixed, let us now focus on creating the chat messages. Okay. So we got the client promise from /lib/MongoDB. We will also take an object ID from MongoDB. Okay. And we'll have an export type citation equal to the first thing would be the file path as the form of a string and the chunk index as a form of not a string as a number. Okay. These are the two things that we'll be taking from citations. Then would be the type chat message. There would be a couple of things that we'll be taking here. The first thing would be an ID of the form object ID. Second would be the session ID, same object ID. Next would be the role. It would be either user or assistant, along with the content, the citations in the form of citation. And also we will be taking a created at what time is the chat message created. Okay. So I'll first, there is some change that I did not need it. Export type. Okay. Okay. Okay, there was a syntactical error. Next is to create a function to save message. I will close this, not needed. Save message. Okay. So now there would be an async function that we create. Async function save message, wherein we are passing the session ID. Okay. We are passing the role. We are passing the content, and we are also passing the citations. Okay. And we will take the session ID in the form of a string, role as a user or an assistant, content as a string, and citation as a citation array. Okay. Now we'll have a try catch block. In try block, we will just create or connect to the DB, await client promise, const DB equal to client dot DB. The DB name would be secondary. Okay, we'll have the DB name here. And just we will, for our debugging purpose, we will just log it. We will say saving the message for session. Okay. And let us make it dynamic. We will do one thing. We will also add the user role. So we will say saving the particular role message for the session and also pass the session ID. Okay. Next, const res equal to await db dot collection messages dot insert one. Okay, we will be inserting one thing. Why is it not getting this working? I'll just remove this and take it from here. Okay, insert one. First thing is obviously a session ID, which will be session ID, which will be a new object ID with the session ID passed. Second, role along with the content, citations, and the time at which it is created, which will be a new date. Okay. Again, let's print it saying successfully saved message with ID as, we will keep the ID as $res dot inserted ID. Okay, along with that we'll have session updated at. So update response equal to await collection db dot collection. We will have a different collection with the name sessions, and we'll update one. We'll update that particular folder with the first thing as the ID, which will be a new object ID with the session ID passed, and the second thing would be setting the updated at value as the current date at which it is updated. Okay, now we are updating the session updated at. Now we'll say if the update response matches the count as 0, we will warn the user saying warning, no session found with ID as the given session ID to update. Okay, if this is the case, else what we will say, we will say console.log successfully updated session with the session ID. Okay, next we will do a catching of the errors here. Console.error will say error saving message. Okay, and this would be the error that will be passing, and then throw error. Okay, this would be the save message function. After that, we'll also create a different function, export async function, get messages by session. If you remember, whenever you go to, let's say I'll just go to ChatGPT, and if there are any older requests that I have, these are the sessions that I have. Let's say I have AI agents explain simply. If I go on to this session, you can see I have the history of the chats that I gave and the response that I get from the LLM. So these are getting the messages by the session. That is the function that we will be creating. Here we'll be passing the session ID, which will be in the form of a string, and first would be to connect await client promise const db equal to client.db second break. Okay, and then we'll say return db dot collection, which will be in the form of chat message with messages. Okay, and we'll pass the session ID as the new object session ID, this current session, and sort it via created at 1 and give us a response in the form of array. I'll just add load all messages for a session. So yeah, these are the two main functions that we created. First is to save the data into the DB, and the second function is to then update and give us all the messages for a given session. Okay, now we will go to app/API/chat/route. So the next thing that we do here is to now do the session extraction to get the session, and rather than taking the messages, we take the entire body from the front end, And after that, we just check if there are any, if the session ID is present, if the messages are present or not. And then what we do is save the user message for the given session along with the role as the user and the content as the query. Then we perform the entire rack thing that we had created to get the top k chunks. And then after that, what we will do is then give us the response. Okay, so let's go here and let's do one thing. Let us refresh it. Okay, there is one more thing that is left for us to do, is to now create a chat/id page which will give us the session. So /id / we'll say not this is the backend API /id / page dot tsx. So this basically will be the page that we will be using to get the details of all the chats that is present. So I'll just have the code here, right here. This is mostly the front end aspect. What are the things that are here? First would be the typing indicator, components, button, UI, input, everything. So I'll just remove everything from here and directly take it from here. Typing indicator, I'll have the input and also the button. The size, I don't want to give the size here. Okay, what is this page doing? So this page is also helping us to create a session wherein we will have a backend API route with the given parameter as session ID to get that session and to also get the body from that given session. Okay, so this is where actual implementation of sessions are getting into picture, wherein whenever a user clicks on a button, a session is created, and then that session helps to get the user its own personalized session. Here we'll create another route which would be, say, messages / session ID / route.ts, and we'll have a get function which will help to get the message by session. Okay, and now that we have everything into place, we can go again backward from the home page. Let's start clicking on create session. Let us say, what do you know about machine learning? And just click on send. Okay, there is an internal server error that we are facing. What is the error? Okay, is a dependency in an expression. Over node modules, ChromaDB is a dependency. Okay, /chat. So there is a issue in the API route here in chat. Let's fix this. So there would be one change that we'll need to do here is to have the button here wherein whenever we are clicking on it to have start chat, it would create a new session and then redirect with the first message. So what we will do here is we'll have this thing over here, and whenever there is a function on submit, there what we will do is we'll have, say, const response equal to await fetch /API /sessions, wherein we are passing the method as a post method and also the headers which are of content type as application /JSON. Okay, and the body would be the stringified format for the JSON. JSON.stringify will pass the first message as the input to the user. Okay, then after that what we are going to do is, after taking this body, we'll create a session ID will get the session ID, await res.json, and then we will do the one thing, we will redirect with first message. Okay, we'll say router, not router dot router dot push will say slash chat slash dollar session ID query is equal to encoded encoded URI component with the given input, and we will be taking router from use router. So we will have const router equal to use router. Okay, we have this thing. Okay, we don't need it from, okay, we take it from use navigation. Okay, now what we will do is we will try testing it. Okay, we will go to this page here and we'll say, tell me what do you know on machine learning. Okay, okay, there are some other issues. 404 not found. Okay, let me go to the console. Okay, there are some other things. Please provide a MongoDB URL in the environment variable. Okay, seems like we have some issue in the library here. Please provide MongoDB URL. Is the name same? Oh, this is the issue. I'll just change it as Mongo URL. Now I think it should work fine. I'll just copy this and I'll just say send. Okay, now it says the payload is invalid. Okay, what is the payload as invalid? Slash API slash chat. Tell me what do you know on machine learning. The ID, as you can see, the session ID is here, the user ID is given here, and it's triggering the submit message. So I'll just copy this and I'll just ask here, what is the issue here? Please help fix this. Okay, I usually don't tell anyone like please don't do vibe coding because that's the current approach many people or everyone is using here to vibe code any and everything that they are building. So I would suggest you can vibe code. It's not an issue telling anyone to not vibe code it. I think I got the issue again now. I think I'm just giving it to the LLM and then I'm getting the issues. We have not created the session route. So we'll have to create a session route.ts. Close this. This basically takes the first message and then adds it into the session. Okay, let's try it again. I'll just reload it. I'll just ask it from here. What are my recent notes about? Send, open the console, that get API slash messages not found. Okay, but as you can see here, there is one thing that is done. A session is created and the query is also given. Let us see if we have our session in the database as well. So we'll just go to clusters and browse collections, dismiss cluster 0. It's connecting to the cluster. Let's just wait. Second brain. Okay, yeah, there are one message and one session already present. What are my recent note about? And this is the session ID. Okay, but what is the error that we are getting? Google generative AI API key is missing. Pass it using API key parameter or Google generative AI API key environment variable. I tried couple of times. Looks like there is some genuine issue. I just went into the docs to see if what is the issue that you are facing, but I am also not able to get it. I'll just say this is the error, and it's actually not advisable for you to get the API key, give the API key, but I'll just say this is the API key. Okay, or else what if I just rename this as Google Generative AI API key? You never know. Sometimes things do work. So I'll just save this and again maybe we'll get the same error. Hopefully. No. See, I told you. Sometimes even like doing a small change in the environment variable gets your thing working. Okay. So yeah, now we can see we have our recent note discussing about deep learning and everything. Let's try to do one thing. Let's try to refresh it. there are some issues. Okay, there is a hydration warning that we are getting. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go inside the layout. I'll just close this as well. Inside app slash layout, what we will do here, wherein it's doing the export inside body, we will just say suppress hydration warning equal to true. Okay, and just refresh it. There is again a tree warning that we are getting. Let us see. We don't need to have icon true here. We'll just give it like as. When I refresh it, I still get the recent nodes are primarily about machine learning. They cover an introduction, key concepts, neural network, and everything. So let me ask it a new question again. What is machine learning? I'll ask it, what is machine learning? Please explain me what is machine learning. Machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence that provides system the ability to automatically learn and improve the experience without being explicitly programmed. It focuses on development of computer programs that can access data and use it to learn by themselves. So yeah, I think this is something, different, and this is something where you actually have the ability to create applications just like ChatGPT and get your things done. Now that we get the chats from a given session ID, let's do one thing. Let's display the chats over on a sidebar. So next task is for us to create a sidebar now. So we'll go inside components, and then we will create a component as sidebar.tsx. So this basically will be a sidebar which will help display all the sessions on the side. Okay, so this is one thing. Okay, we will just remove the button here. There is the button. Just remove button from here and take it from ours. And there is one more thing that it is asking is lib chat sessions. That is one thing that we will have to create. So let's get on creating lib slash chat sessions. So we'll go inside lib and we'll create chat sessions.ts. Okay, so what we will do here now is to obviously get couple of things first. Object ID from MongoDB, also a client promise. Okay, and we will have export type of chat session, wherein we will be taking the object ID, the title, created and updated app. Okay, and we'll export an async function which will help get the chat sessions. Okay, so we'll just say const client equal to await client promise, and db will be the collection as second brain, and next we will say await db.collection as a chat sessions and get the sessions and sorted them in an ascending order. Okay, and then return the sessions. Okay, this is the first thing that we will be doing, and the second thing would be to create a chat session using second brain, and we'll also have the thing as const now equal to away new date. We'll keep the date as today's date, and then we'll say const res equal to await db.collection as sessions dot insert one. The title will be say new chat. Okay, and the created and updated would be as now, and then we'll be returning the couple of things, which will be first thing would be an id, which will be res dot insert id, and the second one would be the title. This will be a new chat. One thing that you can do over here is instead of getting a new chat, you can make an API call to LLM to give it a custom based title, which is like this: AI agents explain simply. This is your session title. So what you can do is you can make a call to an LLM to make this thing. Next is to create an async function to get chat session by ID, obviously in the format of a string from second brain, and db.collection chat sessions dot find where ID is equal to the new object ID. Okay, I'll remove this and I'll just take it from here again. We don't need the button variant for now. Okay, but are we able to see this? No. There is a reason, because we have not added it. So what we'll do, we'll go inside chat and page, and here we will have a layout of its own. So we'll have a layout.tsx wherein we will have the chat sidebar. Okay, I'll get the chat sidebar. Okay, so let's see. Yep, we have the chat sidebar loaded over here. Okay, so let's see, let's create a new chat. I'll just ask find information about machine learning as a developer. Okay, find me information about machine learning as a developer. You can see chat ID is created, and it's saying I don't have that in my second brain yet. Sometimes it happens that it does not have that in the second brain yet. The main thing that you have to do here is to update the system prompt in such a way so that you can get the response in a much better manner. I had just changed it to give a smaller prompt. Let me do one thing. I'll just go to prompt OS again and get the older prompt that I had. So I'll just sign in again. Why is it asking to sign in again? No worries. We can directly, in fact, update the prompts. I'll just view this prompt. Oh no, I don't want to get the saved version. Copy this and I'll just, okay, it is giving undefined. Okay, I need to work on this to get it done. Okay, this copy and then paste it. So let me ask it again. Find me information of machine learning as a developer. You can see on the left side, it directly also updated that entire thing. So now the response might vary, because based on the prompt that you give, the response also varies from prompt to prompt on different LLMs as well. So yeah, we gave it a different system prompt. The response is a bit different now. So finally, now we have an entire thing ready, wherein we are able to get sessions, we are able to create sessions of our own, and then we are able to get the response from the LLM. Now, this thing is not over yet. Okay, there are a lot of things that we need to add now. The first thing would be adding input and output guardrails so that LLM cannot give you the response that it is not supposed to give. The second thing is, if there are, let's say, any videos embedded or there are YouTube links embedded into the knowledge base. So in the next video, what we are going to do is we are going to have the input and output guardrails embedded into the LLM so that we can get a much better response, and also a lot of moderation on these APIs, on these LLMs can be done. So I hope that you like this video. You understood a lot of things on how do you create a session, how do you store it in MongoDB, and how do you make actually, feel how ChatGPT works when you are building it by yourself. So let me know your comments on the comment section given below. If you like this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And see you guys in the next one. Until then, bye-bye.